if you continue acting timidly or fearfully, some will be gone. It's the time to speak for yourself. Remember the famous saying that when they went for the socialist, I did not speak. When they went for the unionist, I did not speak. When they went for the Jew, I did not speak. And now they're coming for me. There's no one to speak for me. And I know even in this platform, abductions are still consistent. They are still abducting people, even from these platforms. So we got to speak like it is our last. Whatever activity you're going to make, don't think you have another time. It is either today or never. So let's come up with the actions that are precise, that are rigorously exact and accurate to deliver the desired result that we are looking forward to. And this we can achieve together because they are the minority and we are the majority. In a republic, we all control our lives. We are all Moses. We got the keys to open all the prisons and walk to our freedom. And people's power is when we lose our fears. And this has happened before. Because when we lose our fears, they lose up their powers. You remember June 25th. And we are going to remain consistent. And we must be able to sieve even the wheat from the chaff, because I know a number of individuals or characters are not here for the sole reasons of the ultimate freedom. Some are still caught up in thinking with their stomach instead of visionary. But I believe that we have leadership that has been demonstrated by a number of you. I've attended most of your spaces. And I'm so convinced that we are not alone. And it is closer by. So if it is tomorrow, then let's act decisively. But as we move from tomorrow, we must have initiatives that engage the citizen actively so that they're fully committed to the call of justice. So we've seen sometimes we get good lawyers, but they buy the judges. And the ultimate say is with the people. Yeah, so I'll still hang around. If there's any question, I'm ready to take, and I'm happy to be part of the team. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Justice. That was a very powerful presentation, actually. And for sure, Kenya is at a breaking point. We went to bed with a dream of a government that will bring prosperity, justice, equality to all Kenyans under the Kenya Kwanza administration, only to wake up to a nightmare of escalating hardship, political chaos, deepening economic instability. We are witnessing not just a failure to deliver on promises, but a real betrayal of the fundamental values of good governance. Look at the food prices. Look at the employment rate. Look at the rampant corruption. Families can barely make ends meet. As Julius Nyerere once said, government should serve the people's interest. Yet here we are, watching those interests eroded. Thank you. I will hand over to Wanjiru, and then she can bring in Milton. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I was in a little bit earlier. I don't think I'm not sure whether Abdi was there. I think Abdi had just come in. And when I was leaving, I was talking about taxes because all the problems we have now are pegged on us being able to fund this government to do all the things that they're doing that are not actually benefiting Mwananchi. So I was asking, how do we make them accountable for the money that they get from every taxpayer? And I talked about healthcare, which is really my concern, that, if the government cannot provide healthcare, I don't think they have any business being in office, because people are dying. They're saying they have this SHA, I don't know, SHIF, I don't know what. But then nobody is benefiting from that. People are dying. Nobody's saying anything. The head of state is quiet. The Ministry of health is quiet. Nobody's talking. When you look at the state of our education, it is in a very, very bad state. Nobody's talking. And yet they're collecting billions and billions of money every single day, and this money is just being used to fund a lifestyle for these politicians and all these government officials, traveling abroad and, getting all these allowances. And that's all they care about. That's all they care about. They only care about what it is in for them being in office. But the Mwananchi is suffering. We are talking. People are talking. I'm sure every household, people are having these conversations. I'm sure people in their marketplaces and in the matatus and everywhere, people are talking about these problems. But we need an engine that is going to move something that can make a change, because 2027 is too far. The pain is unbearable now. 3 years down, I think it's going to reach a breaking point at one point. So we need to see how civic education can help people understand what the problem is. And then we also need to see how we can, challenge government and which avenues we can use to petition government. I know in developed democracies, citizens can sign petitions, and when a petition reaches a certain number, for example, in the UK, if a petition reaches 100,000, it has to be debated in Parliament. And I don't know if we even signed a petition, where would you take this petition? I understand when the president said he wasn't aware people were being abducted and people had disappeared, there is a group that attempted to, present a petition to the office of the president, and they were brutalized. So that is the kind of situation we find ourselves in, where we know what is going on. Everybody in the country, including a child on this, a child in a primary school, can actually tell something is not right. But what do we do? How do we challenge this? Because we need to, as much as we are planning to put people in positions in the coming elections, for now, we need to challenge all these things about healthcare, education, infrastructure. There are places. Somebody will send me a picture. They were trying to access an, a farm where they were going to bury their kin, and they couldn't get through because the infrastructure is so bad. There's a bridge that had collapsed, and they had to, try and, carry this casket, by hand to go through a very dangerous place. So it is bad. And the security in the country is also wanting, because people are being abducted. People are feeling unsafe. Some people just have to turn their mobile phones off because, data privacy has become an issue. You turn your mobile phone off, on, somebody will know your location and you feel, threatened. So there's all this going on. But then what can we do, and how can people petition? How can people raise their voices? I understand the U.S. Had spoken to the president about the abuses of human rights. And if at all these abuses are going on, how can the government is not going to tell the U.S. that abuses are going on? We don't know how, honest they're being when they're questioning these things. But at least if we keep shouting and we keep, on social media, and we keep talking about these things and making sure the whole outer world is aware of what's going on in Kenya, I think the amplifying the problems on social media and trying as much as possible to petition and send these petitions, even if they don't do anything. We sign the petitions, we send it to them, and then maybe one day something is going to happen. But I don't know what's going to happen, because judiciary is not on our side, parliament is not on our side, executive is not on our side. We are on our own, but we have to keep pushing. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjiro, for that powerful submission. I'll leave Justin, data analyst Fabian, and every speaker to chime in. But I agree with you that while we are continuously being told about efforts to boost the economy and public investment, I think the reality on the ground is a different story. Our healthcare system is truly crumbling. Education standards is being compromised. Essential services remain inconsistent. This raises the pressing question: where is our tax money going? I think we need to demand transparency and accountability in how public funds are managed. Without a clear answer, it's hard to justify the visible gap in public service delivery. I think we have the right to know where these taxes collected diligently still Kenyans face hardships assessing healthcare, education. The focus should not shift raising funds, but ensuring that they are effectively utilized. I think you're right. We need to amplify these voices to push for petitions to seek government transparency on tax revenue allocations. I think it's clearly the problem we demand for transparency. And I'll leave it there. I will leave the other speakers to chime in. If Dr. Milton wants to come in, let me know. Justice, do you want to chime in? Data analyst and Fabian, I saw your hands are raised.
Yes, I think I can go. Unless Dr. Milton, because Dr. Milton hasn't spoken, unless he wants to go, I think I can go.
You can go ahead, then I speak after you. I think I'm ready.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Abdi, you have asked a very good question. But before about taxation, but before I talk about that, Wanjiro, there's something you've said about petitions, and there are a number of petitions that are going around, and I want to focus on the one that is on sanitary products, because the sanitary products that we are being sold are not cotton. So there's a petition going around, and the target is 10,000 petitioners. There's a court case, and it affects everyone: daughters, sisters, mothers, aunties, every single one of you. And whether it affects you or not, it affects somebody you know. So please, when you get a hold of it, please sign that petition. So that's petition number one. There's also a petition that will go around soon about the IMF. There's a team that wants to sue the IMF, and because of what is going on. Yeah, the debt is too high, and that's something I want to speak about. We have the gross domestic product, but right now, I think as I was looking at the numbers from the IMF, I think we should call it the gross foreign product. And why do I say that? I say that because 70% of GDP goes to public debt. 70%. So what that means is that 10% we get from diaspora, that 5% we get from agriculture, that 15% we get from healthcare. When you tally all that up, it's going to some foreign pockets. And then, Abdi, you've rightly talked about taxation. This money that we are getting, that we pay, where does it go? Because it's a colossal amount. If it was going into the economy, we would feel it. We are not feeling it. The money that we are being given by the donors, the loaners, where is it going? Because again, that is a colossal amount of money. And it's like I said before, we do not have consequences for the leadership. There are no consequences. They just keep leading us astray, and that's a very big challenge. The minute that we have consequences, then things will start aligning. Things will fall into place. But right now, to be honest, we have the fox in charge of the hen house, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Yeah, but we need to stop them before we run out of chicken. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, data analyst. I like the part a strong economy doesn't need constant reminders from bloggers like Itumbi. People should feel it in their daily lives through better opportunities and greater financial ease. I think if leaders have to keep pointing out the benefit, we are not probably reaching anywhere. Real progress is not just seen, but is spoken. Dr. Milton, over to you.
Thank you very much. It's been a tough week. I want to salute all of us that are here, and I also want to acknowledge the commitment that everyone has to this cause, and that is best demonstrated by the presence, the consistency of being on this space every 7 days, and every other day that we have an opportunity to engage. Today, I want to start by taking note of certain key events that have happened over the past 7 days that I think have been significant or extremely troubling to me, and some have also been gratifying to a certain extent, if you like. And one of those things is the win by Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. I have seen a lot of sentiment, and people have expressed themselves. But I honestly think I want to agree with a conversation that we had with Hillary on Tuesday on election night, that perhaps Trump's win is good for for Kenya and many other African countries, for the reason that the Make America Great Again narrative, as much as I do not believe in it entirely, I think it is good that when Americans and those in power at the White House will focus on Americans, then you will have a lot of the big brother syndrome and the validation that William Ruto has been having. And I want to speak directly. I do not expect that it is going to continue. One of the things is, and I hope it happens very quickly, I have seen our people express themselves online, is the current diplomatic representative of the US in Nairobi, and how she has been acting as if she is advancing the interests of Ruto and his cartels. And that has been, it has left me asking myself very many questions. What exactly has been the brief that Meg Whitman had in her Call of Duty Nairobi? I think the other thing that would be Kenyans need to focus on is the end of the Kenyan mission in Haiti. Because it is not serving any interest of the Kenyan people that we have our security and law enforcement officers in a foreign country when we are not secure back home. When you cannot utafungia ng'ombe zako na ulale usingizi. So I think it is something that I look forward to. And also, the other thing that puts Kenya on the firing line and has given Ruto and his cronies the false sense of bravado is the recognition by President Biden that Kenya is a non-NATO ally of the United States. Who knows what that means? How does that significantly help our country? But even so, the shame that our foreign policy under this regime is, you see police abducting people who are running from persecution, and then you hand them over in the dead of the night, and you only come to speak when there is pressure and say those people were being extradited because of crimes. Surely there are many other things that I hope the Trump presidency will be able to address and call William Ruto to order. He will not expect to mistreat Kenyans because President Trump says his focus is on America. And I think that is a very important thing for us to take note of, and for us to be able to say it is a positive. For